Hey everyone. Yes, it's time to pull yarn. I got this really thick chunky yarn that I wanted to try today. I'm not going to do a big canvas with it. That was my intention, but I thought we'll just keep it simple today and we'll do a 11 by 14. But I did want to show you how I mix up the paint for the yarn itself. I've already shown everyone how to do the base paints on several videos. If you have not seen those, check out my tutorials. So I'm just gonna get a little bit bigger. So when you're doing the paint, you want it thick enough to grab onto the yarn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up a batch. Use up some of this white paint that I have here. This is Soho Acrylics from Jerry's Artorama. Love these paints. I think I have some in my Amazon shop too that I did find online. When you're done with these paints, when you think you've squeezed it all out, cut it about halfway down and grab your stick because there's still quite a bit of paint left in there. You don't want to waste it. At least I don't. So to that I'm going to add the Artist Loft Iridescent Medium. And I'm probably going to have to cut this one as well. This is what gives it that shimmer in the white. And you can mix this in with any color paint and get that shimmer. I love it in Prussian blue. It's gorgeous. There was still quite a bit in there. So yeah, don't waste it. Use it up. And this, of course, is clean on this end. All right. So I'm going to mix those two together. And you can see it's very thick, barely falls off the stick. So to that, I'm going to add Floetrol, not water. I'm going to start with about maybe a quarter cup, and I think that might be all we need. Scrape your sides good, just like if you were mixing resin. So you don't want any clumps. And I'm only going to pull a couple of strings. I'm going to do a dirty pour on the base, and we're going to pull just a couple of strings through it. Just a little bit more. You want it to come off the stick, but not run like when we're mixing our pour paint. So it should come off pretty thick. And that looks about right. Well, maybe a tad more, just a tad. Okay. That should be good. Okay, so I'm going to pour that in this dish because it's easier to dip your yarn in the paint, and there is no silicone in this because you don't want cells in your flowers. You'll get the cells in your flowers a little bit from the dirty pour, and of course the white itself. All right, let me just wipe my hands real quick and my scissors. Okay, so we need to set this off, and we're going to go ahead and do a dirty pour on this canvas. It's 11 by 14. So when you're doing a yarn pull, you can go ahead and do a base color. Now the base paint you'll want to mix like the white and black base paints that we do. You want it thin enough to flow. But for this one, we're going to do a dirty pour. And we'll see the struggle that it's a little harder to do it this way, but you'll see that. So since I'm using white for the yarn, I want to kind of keep my background a neutral color. I did one for a friend of my mother's, and we used gold and cream color, like a vanilla color, and a little bit of copper and some sage green for accent and some Van Dyke brown. So it came out beautiful, and I mailed that to her Saturday. So I haven't heard from her yet to see how she likes it, but it was beautiful. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and use a few colors that I've been using together lately. And it is the Naples Yellow and the Grumbacher Turquoise Green, Premier Violet, and I probably will put some gold in there to give it a little shimmer. So I want to make sure that I layer this enough. I may have to add just a tiny bit of white to separate some of the color, but other than that, I probably wouldn't have used white at all. So let's start with a little bit of white. And we'll follow that with the Artist Loft Naples Yellow. We have to make sure we have enough paint to cover the canvas, so. And we'll use the Craft Smart Gold. I'm going heavy on the gold. The Grumbacher Turquoise Green. And then we'll follow that. Well, let me put a tad of white on top of that. We don't want too much interference. And the Premier Violet. So then I'll go back with a little bit of white, and we'll just top those off again till our cup is full. Okay, move those out of the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip my cup. And I did not spray it because we have enough silicone in the paint that I didn't really need any more. And of course it will stick a little bit in the cup. But we could set it aside. Maybe we'll get a pretty skin out of it. Okay. So there's our golden yellow. It's pretty. I was going to put some magenta in here, but I really want to keep it more earthy toned and not have the pink come out. So it did come out pretty good. Let that set for just a minute. I'm going to give it a quick torch, get the bubbles out. And we're going to tilt. Now remember, we're going to put white flowers through this, so we don't need to keep anything in particular. It's just a background. And I'm glad the gold is in the middle, so that worked out well. And with gallery wraps, you have to cover those sides, so you want to make sure you always mix another extra ounce of paint, at least for that, or two. cover my sides real quick. And then the next thing we want to do is tip just a little bit, because we have to get some of that paint off. We can't leave a puddle in the middle. So yes, your cells will get stretched out, but we can bring it back a little bit. But see all that paint coming off? You don't want to have to deal with that when you're pulling yarn. It's not fun to have puddles. Your yarn strands will get lost. So I'm going to be pulling towards me, so you're going to see it upside down, but I will show you when it's finished what it looks like this way. So I'm just wiping my hands off so I can grab my yarn. I'm going to cut some strands of yarn. And the other thing too, you don't want to cut your yarn too long, because you have to pull it up, so you don't want to be up over your head. So I would say probably no longer than 2.5 feet. I'm going to cut 3, because I think we might be able to fit 3 on there. I won't know until I pull the first one. So the first one, oops, will be in the middle. So I can see how to balance it. Set these on the side here. And I'll bring my dish over. And we're using a popsicle stick to dip it down into the paint. Now the other thing you can do too is do a white background and use a tray with different colors and get your yarn all different colors. I've seen a few of those done. They were pretty cute. I have not done one. I'm kind of stuck with what I like, what works for me. I mean, I'm always game to try something new, but I just didn't have any interest in that. So I use my popsicle stick to get a lot of the excess paint off so I don't drip. And it's not always easy to get it off because it's thicker. This is almost as big as clothesline that my husband wanted me to try. So I'm going to go ahead and put one on. And I like the loop look better than the zigzag. So I'm going to let that set because it's going to take a minute for that paint to grab onto what's already on the canvas. I might just do 2 small ones on the side because that's going to be big. So we're going to go ahead and pull. And what that does is bring up yarn or colors from underneath. And you see how we had a lot of paint there? That's what I was trying to tell you. You really need to pour more off. You want to get it as thin as possible. And I run into this problem quite a bit when I'm doing yarn pulls on the back poured backgrounds. So I end up going in and playing and playing and playing. But I love the effect that you get when the white pulls another color down. And we are going to fuss with this quite a bit. So if you don't mind sticking around, you can watch me do that. But I'm going to cut this one in half because I just want 2 little ones on the sides. And then I'm going to take little pieces and go in and pull where I want. That's about half. Oh, But this gives it a whole different effect. Get on there. There we go. Didn't want to stay there. So now what I'm going to do is take little pieces and do like the leaves to bring them in. So I cut those at about 6 inches because you're not going to need to twist or swirl it at all. All you're pretty much doing is just grabbing it in the middle here. And I could have made more paint than that too, but so once you get it in there, then you're just going to pull and lift. And that'll give you a different effect on the leaves itself. It's not working right. There we go. One more. I'm going to leave the flower tops alone because I really like that peacocky look. Don't know if it'll dry like that though. Alright, I need a skewer. So I'm just going to go in and pull these little pieces out. To give it a little bit different look. I'm all about wispy edges, aren't I? Between the airbrush and the paintings. I already know I'm not going to use that white again. That's why I don't care if I'm getting paint in it. There's not much left in there, so. think I might be done messing with it. Every time I step back, I see somewhere else I want to go. The skewer can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Okay. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. Let me turn it around so you can see it before I torch it. There's a lot of purple coming up through. I'm really hoping when it dries that the gold will tone down that purple with its metallic. So you do get some cells. Sometimes you have to pull those yarns through twice to overtake the cells, and they still will come up a little bit. But I kind of like it wispy like that. I got some white on the side there I didn't like. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. All right, let me bring it up and you can see it a little closer. So I just pulled those edges out with the skewer to give it some wispiness. But we'll see how this one dries. It may be a pour over, we don't know. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click below. Click on the bell next to the subscribe button and you'll get notified when I upload my next video. Click like and share and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Join me on Facebook at Christina Welch Art. Shop with me on Amazon to get all your painting supplies. All my painting supplies are from Amazon, pretty much. And check me out on Redbubble and Etsy. I'm running a sale on my Etsy shop through August. A lot of things are on closeout and a lot of things are on clearance as well. And I do have jewelry marked down too. So check that out. Check out all the links actually if you want to sponsor the channel to get into the August sponsor giveaway. It's not too late. You still have about another week. And everybody's names will be put into the hat and the winner will get to choose from my vast array of paintings which one they want, and I will resin coat it for them. So that is a deal within itself. So, but let me know what you think on this one, guys. I'd be curious to see what your comments look like. Maybe throw out some more other ideas for string pulls that we can work on together. And with that being said, I will see you all on the next one. Bye now.